Hi everyone, this is hopefully the last video of the day. Welcome back. Tonight I'm going to go over ways that our parents can help and contribute, but before I do, I just had two updates. Number one, the fifth grade schedule that I sent out earlier on the video was incorrect. We did correct it on Parent Square and it is correct on the website now, but again, the fifth grade schedule, there was a mistake, a mix-up. I do apologize. Also, just a reminder that tomorrow, if you borrowed a laptop or device that you did not need, please bring it back to us. We need extra devices to swap them out for the kids who don't have them at home. I think there was a mistake and some people thought that everybody gets a device. That is not the case. We only had enough to supply devices to the kids who didn't have any at home. So if you could drop them off tomorrow between 10 and 11 right in the main office, that'd be wonderful. Just a reminder, make sure laptops and devices are charged. We only have one technician. His email is right here. If you need tech assistance, it's going to be limited because clearly there are issues going on. We're going to have a device swap as necessary, though, so that's something that will be able to help. If you can't do it immediately, it's not the end of the world. The kids can still get on and do it the day later, but you may want to just drop a note to Miss Voigt or Miss Polifroni or the main office so that we don't mark them absent. We're marking absence and attendance through participation online, so that's how we're doing it. Just a heads up. So tomorrow, let's get into the nuts and bolts. Please help us set the tone. When we send out the video, which is going to go out tomorrow morning at about 8:15, we're going to ask that you load it and hit play at 8:30. It gives you a little bit of time to kind of get it ready for your child or have your child get it ready for themselves. We ask that you participate tomorrow because if they were in school, we would all be standing for the flag salute. And it's also, the right thing to do. We're also going to have yoga, and I really want our community to kind of throw themselves into it because I think it's healthy regardless. I think it's going to be a really positive way of releasing some stress that's been building up. I know I felt it. I feel it on behalf of all of you. And I think it's just going to be a really good thing. So please participate and please plan on doing it as a family because I think it's going to create a different culture for us. And tomorrow's about setting the tone. So let's also talk, tomorrow is also going to be about setting the kids up for success, how to create a study space, how to kind of set the right expectations around it. Work with your child tomorrow to create that workspace, and it should be something that works for them. It doesn't necessarily, we don't have extra supplies we're demanding of them, but they may want things to be set up a certain way and feel comfortable. And I encourage you to help them feel that. I wouldn't go out to the store and buy anything necessarily, but setting up a nice quiet space for them in the home would be great. Also try to set the expectation that after the morning announcements, they go straight to work. Consistency is key. Especially in the first couple days, you're going to have the kids that are very distracted. They're going to struggle a bit with the distraction. So whatever we can do to kind of say, no, you need to go back. Let's get you back on task. Let's go. The less time will be lost for them. And, once they get into the activities, they should just be pretty much on their own. Children may need initial help figuring out what they need to do. If after the morning announcements you start to look at Google Classroom and some of these emails, etc., kids may need a little bit of help with executive functioning and kind of figuring out where to start. If you could, in the first week or two, just help them gain those skills. That's something our teachers typically do if it's the beginning of the year. But we're going to have to rely on you a little bit for that as well. I have a bunch of general advice about things that I think will make this better. And I think it's also really important to understand from kind of the teacher side of things, from a school side of things, some other important factors. Number one, breathe. Nothing will go perfectly tomorrow, and that's okay. It's not going to go perfectly for my teachers. It's not going to go perfectly at home. We all just need to relax. We just need to take a step back and be patient, right? Because we're just starting out. This is a new thing that we're doing. Tomorrow's about setting expectations. Expect kids to focus and work largely independently. And I'm going to talk about independence because I want you to know not to jump in too quickly to help. Usually in school, a teacher, when they're first approached by a child, is given a different type of prompt. It says, well, can you figure that on your own? What could you do to solve that problem? I want you as parents tomorrow to start practicing that skill. If you're touching their keyboard or their touch screen, you are not doing something right. I want you to actually try to practice making them accountable and independent. Those are two wonderful things. Those are qualities that we value in our kids, and it's going to be an adjustment for them, perhaps, if you're a parent who often will just jump in and help your child, because sometimes as parents we might feel the need to help. But it's not always what kids need. Sometimes they need to struggle and figure it out for themselves. So I'm going to encourage you tomorrow to really start honing that skill. If your kid is coming up to you a lot and asking you a lot of questions, the first answer should always be, well, what have you done already to figure it out? What else could you do to figure it out? Okay? I don't want them in the world of frustration, but they should be in the world of struggling a little bit. There's a healthy struggle that's involved. I'm also going to ask that you guys respect student privacy. You're going to get a unique window into what's happening instructionally. Now, I'm going to say this, I hope that I don't need to, but I am going to say it. The only student you should ever be talking about is your own child. Okay, so if you see things online that another child says or posts, please. School is supposed to be a safe space for kids to learn. Do not post things online. Do not go and talk to your neighbors about it, or else this is not going to work as well as it should. Okay? So I'm going to ask that my parents really respect my students' privacy, and I don't want to see any issues that come out of that. I'm also going to ask that you have patience with technology. We're going to have extra devices, especially when we get some back, to switch them out and replace ones that are not working well. But you may have a time frame of a day or two where the technician's not in our school because it's shut down. We're all going to just have to take a deep breath and do the best we can. And have patience with our teachers. This is a new thing for them. They have never done this before. I've never done this before. You've never done this before. And Mr. Wolford often has a fun saying that I like. The only people who like change is babies. And I think that this is one of those things that we're all going to have to just live through and grow through as a community. If we're patient with each other, I think it will be helpful. Along those lines, this is not business as usual. We have an unprecedented thing going on with us, with our teachers, kids, and administrators doing something they've never done before. There's going to be a learning curve, and we need your patience and understanding throughout. We are going to refine it and try to make it better and better, but there's going to be some growth, and there's going to be some growing pains, and it's natural. So please do not beat on us too much. We're going to do the best that we can, and we ask that you do the same. This is an interesting concept. It takes a lot of guts to allow people into your home that are strangers. And if we're really going to make this personalized with our kids and with our teachers, we have to make it a safe space. And in order to do that, I'm going to ask that you be good guests. If the teachers feel comfortable enough to invite you into their home, be appreciative to our teachers, because even though you're in there virtually, like that's a big trust factor that they have. Also, it takes a lot of courage to let down defenses and be on camera. Please don't judge. Please, I've actually been trying to role model being comfortable, because I want my teachers to feel comfortable. I've been in different settings around my house because I want to be a role model in that way. But you know what? You guys can say all you want about me. It takes courage to do this. And I'm going to ask that you just be cognizant of that and really thankful to my teachers because they're going to put time in. And if they don't feel comfortable doing things like this, that's okay too. We're still going to do the best we can to support your children regardless. Realize that they're parents and working and watching kids just like you. Okay, so unlike school where our teachers are 100% devoted to your children, they're in the same spot as you are. So they're not only watching their own children, they're also trying to teach classes at the same time. So just that whole realization of being patient and understanding is important. Distractions will happen on both sides. We all need to be flexible. We're going to see kids running around in the background. We're going to see cats and dogs. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. We're going to be a community. Our school is no longer just in our school. Our school is in each of your houses, and that's okay. We just have to be comfortable with that. Other ways to help. Here's a few ways that I can think of that I'm going to need help from the parents. I would love for us to submit videos and photos to help with the morning announcements. Each day I'm going to make a call for them. I'd love to be able to pick from a bunch of them because filling 25, 30 minutes of time for announcements is going to be quite a task. But the more that I have, the more I can do for the community. So that would be wonderful. Also, my HHSA is collecting enrichment videos, things like, let's read a book to a class. All you need to do is take a cell phone, turn it horizontal so that you have landscape, and read it in front of the camera and then submit it to me, and I will give it to my teachers, and it will be a lovely gift that they could just put into their Seesaw, and then they have a mystery reader. So the more we can get from the community, the more we can do for the community. And as I said before, like, I'm not about doing the minimum. I'm about doing what's right for kids, and I think the more activities and the more interesting that we can make it, the better for all of us. And finally, encourage your child to get involved in the afternoon and evening enrichment classes. I've been working on getting different guest speakers in to host various dialogue. I have an engineer this week that's going to talk to us about water purification. I have a yoga class, a live yoga class set up on Google Hangouts. And we're going to keep going with this and trying to find new activities. And, you know, while my teachers are focusing on the core areas and all of my teachers are giving their own enrichment ideas, I think there's some cool things that we could do as a community to fill the time and actually give everybody something to do. Family yoga night would be something for everybody at home. So those are some of my ideas and some of the direction we're going in. I also have one more ask, and that is a special note about student privacy. We do have students that are not allowed to be videotaped, not allowed to be photographed. I'm going to ask that those parents that don't want that they take the responsibility and they ensure that their children do not turn on their cameras. It's not something that I can monitor or turn off on our end. So if you don't want your children on there, just have the camera off. They could still participate verbally. Along those lines, I'd like to only use first names, although Seesaw and Google Classroom are pretty safe. It's just online privacy. Sometimes people get concerned about it, and I'd like to minimize that issue. And I think that's pretty much it. Finally, no judgments. Oh, that has to do with if kids don't show their video. That doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't even matter. So if kids aren't showing their video, they shouldn't have any flack for that. Some kids may not feel comfortable. That's okay. Just like some of my teachers may not feel comfortable, or some of our kids might not feel comfortable. Like, no judgments, please. I think we need to create a safe space for our kids, and I need your help as parents to do that. Well, that's it for me. I just wanted to say thank you and good luck tomorrow, and I'll be available via email and Parent Square. Like I said, Parent Square is probably the best way to get in contact with me because it's instantaneous. Like, I see it pop up on my phone. If I can't return a phone call right away, I will certainly do so later. Okay, thank you and have a good evening. That's it.